I think some of the things that I regret most in life are the times that I thought I had more time than I did with a particular thing I was doing or person. Um, and, I regret putting off things that I thought that I would eventually have more time and more resources to take care of. What I can really draw from one personal experience, which is, um, when I was in college, I drank a bit and, I chewed tobacco. And because of that, I started to accumulate some, dental health problems that I haven't, that I really just kind of put off addressing until very recently. Um, I had kind of like a receding gum line that I had dealing with in my lower gums for a while, and I knew that it was going to be something that I would eventually have to get surgery for, that I would eventually have to deal with, um, and because of that, I was just kind of scared. I didn't really want to go to the dentist and even get a general checkup. I started staying away from going to the dentist, and I've always had really good teeth my whole life. I had braces when I was younger, but as I as my as I had some of these negative health behaviors that I kind of taken over my life, I really started to stray away from wanting to go to these places that I'd usually like to go. And I think that happens for a lot of people. And I think sometimes people, when they get out of shape or they put on some pounds and they had previously been an active, healthy person, I think they start to really stray away from those settings where there's active people, where there's people that hold them accountable for their actions. I know that I was really afraid to see the dentist because I was afraid to eventually have to answer for some of the dumb things I had done, because it was my fault for putting myself in that situation. And, I just didn't want to deal with it. And I noticed people do that a lot with their fitness too. They end up not wanting to go to the gym, and they end up not wanting to hire a coach because the having to be accountable for your actions is a tough thing to do, because it requires a lot of self-awareness. It requires a lot of coming to terms with some of the shit that you did. Coming to terms with some of the shit you did was, completely your fault. I look at it with my dental situation is, if I would have just addressed some of these things earlier in my life, it wouldn't have turned into, it at the end of this month, I'm going to be going in to get surgery to get a bridge put in my lower teeth, which whatever, I have nice looking lower teeth, but, if I would have just went to the dentist and talked to someone about what I was dealing with, and then I wouldn't have had to, pay $14,000 before insurance and have to get this major surgery that's going to put a real wrench in my life for a few weeks. If I would have just kind of taken care of some of these things incrementally, and handled them like an adult instead of ignoring them, instead of putting them off for later, because there's never an ideal time for dealing with these things. There's never an ideal time where you're going to have all the money you want, all the time you want, all the resources you want for dealing with these things. Life's never going to get less crazy. It's never going to get less busy. It's never going to get less hard. And so I think the big thing that, I've really learned from this situation is, I coach people. I tell them all the time of, 15 minutes of being proactive will save you 15 years of regret and being reactive to some of the decisions you've made. But yeah, I think if you're someone that is out there that's dealing with some sort of health problem or something you need to address, whether that's with your mental health, you haven't been feeling yourself, and you need to go talk to someone, or you're in a relationship and it's really struggling, and you need to go talk to a couples counselor, but you keep putting it off, or you're someone like me who's dealing with dental issues, and you need to go into the dentist, but you're afraid to go see what the damage is, or your finances, that you haven't been saving, and, you're not on track for retirement and things like that. Like, go and talk to these people, because I think some of the times you think that you can afford to, pay for a coach, or, pay for a financial advisor, or pay a dentist, but you can't afford not to. These little shortcuts you're making in your finances, and shortcuts you're trying to make in your life to avoid some of these really tough conversations and tough things you have to deal with, you end up paying for down the line. So hopefully anybody that needs to hear that today can kind of get where I'm coming from, and whether, whatever you're dealing with, go deal with it, because you're never going to get less busy. It's never going to get less hard. It's never going to get easier.